Hey, welcome back to a new video. Finally, we are reviewing this time the Nahuku acrylic markers from Ohuhu. I got this big pack with 48 markers as a gift. Maybe you remember I got a huge PR package from Ohuhu and I already did the unboxing, and if you are curious what I also got besides the Nahuku markers, you can check out the unboxing video. But let's dive into the Nahuku acrylic markers. As you can see, this pack has 48 markers, and at the beginning I was very happy because I thought 48 markers means also that I will get 48 different colors. But as you can see, you will get 3 white markers and also 3 black markers. Maybe you use a lot of white and black in your illustration, so this pack will be very perfect for you. But in my case, I was a little bit sad because I don't use that much the black marker in my illustration because I find the black color too much or too harsh, the contrast in comparison with my soft pastel looking artworks that I do. So I was a little bit sad. I would prefer to get instead a wider variety of colors. For example, the green colors that we get in this set don't have a very big differentiation to each other, so I was thinking maybe there will be great to have more different green colors, or also for the violet colors that we got. I think they are missing some midtones because there's a very huge jump from the light violet to the dark purple color, so maybe there I would prefer to have them instead of 3 white and 3 black markers. But let's start with the sketching part and I will tell you more about the acrylic markers. As you have seen, my sketchbook is very old, very worn out, and it's almost falling apart, and I think I only need to fill in a few pages, then I can finally do the long-awaited sketchbook tour. I really looking forward to do the sketchbook tour and to finalize this old sketchbook. I think it is almost over 10 years old, and yes, I can't wait to record the sketchbook tour for you. And right now I'm starting to color up the sketch that I did. It's a winter theme illustration, still fitting to January because here in Germany it started snowing, and I was very happy to see finally snow again because the last month in the autumn and also the beginning of winter it was very warm, and I was craving a little bit more colder temperature, and also I wanted to see snow again. So I'm very happy right now, and I feel a little bit nostalgic when I'm thinking back at my childhood when I had a lot more snow laying around at this time, and this was my inspiration for the illustration that I wanted to do in my sketchbook with the Nahuku acrylic markers. And I'm using a very light brown beige color for the base tone for the fairy guinea pigs, and then using pink tones for the nose, ears, and all the blush on the cheeks of the fairy guinea pigs. And I must say I already have the small pack, I think with 26 colors, so I'm already used how to work with them. When you are using them for the first time, maybe you notice that the paint of the markers is very liquid, so don't shake it that much because it can overflow. But if you have this in mind, it works perfectly fine. Because of the liquid nature of the paint markers, you have still a little bit time to blend them before they have dried out. And this is one of the things of acrylic markers, that they are very quickly dry, so you have a little bit of trouble to blend them together. But with the Nahuku acrylic markers you don't have this case, so you can take your time and blend them together. You will see later how I blend the colors together also with the brush, and it works really perfectly fine. I was very surprised how opaque the colors are. Also here using the white color to build up the snowman, and also adding a little bit of of a light turquoise to make the shadow part of the snowman, because I didn't want to use gray or a different color shade to shape the snowman, and I wanted to make it still colorful, so I was avoiding a gray color scheme for the snowman. Also, I was using the light blue paper like a background for my illustration, like it was a very beautiful bright blue sky. Also, I was thinking, because the Nahuku acrylic markers are very wet and liquid, maybe to use next time ceramic palette where I can put or add a few drops of the liquid on it, and then I can use the palette for mixing the colors and create new different shades. I don't know if this is possible, maybe also adding fresh water to it to dilute it and to make different washes of color on my illustration. But when I'm doing this, I think I can't use my sketchbook. Maybe I have to use a more thicker paper for watercolor, for example, or for gouache or acrylics. This is one of the things that I'm planning to do, and also one of the things that I really love doing with new art supplies. Experiment with it, trying different techniques, different paper to see which one works the best for the acrylic markers that I got now. This is one of the things that I really encourage you to do, to take your time learning the art supplies that you got and don't feel at the beginning very encouraged when it doesn't work at the first time, because you still need to gain more experience with it, and then over the time you will get used to it and know what you can do with it and what not, or what kind of art supplies you can also include in your illustration when you are working with acrylic markers. So it's a lot of learning, and I'm working, I think, now 2 years with acrylic markers from different brands and also with different tips as well. Some have brush tips or very stiff one, and I'm still learning and seeing differences. But I think I must say after 2 years that they are definitely one of my favorite art suppliers to work with, because you don't have to think that much, I must say. Sometimes with alcohol markers, also one of the art supplies that I really love, but I think they are now on the second place for me. But with alcohol markers, I always have to use, in my opinion, for my illustration style, also a lot of colored pencil to define shapes and also to add more shadow and more contrast and value. So I have more time that I have to invest with this type of coloring. But with acrylic markers, I only have to fill in the color, see where I have to add a darker color for create the best value to shape my illustration. And also it dries very quickly, so I don't have to wait when I'm going on top to create a second layer of color. When I'm doing a mistake, I can cover it up because the acrylic markers are very opaque. So it's very easy to use, and I think they can be at the beginning a little bit tricky when you are a beginner, but you can also very learn fast how to work with them. Because of the spec of this type of acrylic markers from Ohuhu, the Nahuku set could be the best choice for you when you are starting out with acrylic markers. The quality is very good. The brush tip is very flexible and soft. You can create different shapes of line. When you are pressing a little bit more, you can create a variation of line strokes, so you can play around. You can also use it for hand lettering, for typography when you are into this. You can also draw on different surface, not only on paper. You can also draw on stone, on wood, on canvases, on glass. So you have many possibilities to use them in different ways. And also the colors, the quality is very, very great. They are very vibrant. The saturation is very, very beautifully. And also the price range is very reasonable for that what you get. You get 48 markers in a very handy package that you can take with you when you are going outside. So I must say that the comparison from the small set that I have now to the big 48 set is not that different. I still think that the acrylic markers are very good and really enjoyable to use after you have get to know that the paint is more liquid. It's different, I think, compared to other acrylic markers, but you will get used to it. And also you can try out different acrylic markers as well and combine them and collect your colors that you really like. And also Ohuhu had different kind of acrylic markers. I got the opportunity to review other acrylic markers, the Kalalau Ohuhu acrylic markers, and I already did a small review in a short content. And if you want to try them out as well, or maybe also other art supplies from Ohuhu like the alcohol markers, I have a code for you that you can use where you get 10% discount at your order. The link is down below. And a side note, this video is not sponsored by them. I really love the products and I also love to review them, to use them, and also to help you out when you're looking for new art supplies. And now we are on the second page on the left side, and there I was blending the acrylic markers with the brush. As you have seen, I'm using a very small brush. I don't use extra water to the brush. I'm only blending the colors together as they are still wet. It works very, very good. But you also remember you have time, but don't be that slow, because when it's dry you can't blend them. You can reactivate it with a little bit water, but it can be messy when you are using afterwards a little bit of water. But yes, I was working quickly. I have in one hand the one color, in the other hand I'm drawing with the second color, and then I'm holding in my mouth the brush, and then I can switch the three things very quickly when I needed them. But now I also want to talk a little bit about this illustration here. I am doing on YouTube a series that is called The Flower of the Month, and this one is the last one, the last part. And the flowers of the month of December is the holly and the narcissus. Yes, and in this series I am talking about the symbolism, the history and meaning about those flowers. And let's start with the holly. Holly has been around for centuries and is actually one of Britain's favorite festive plants. But before they were hung in homes and churches for Christmas, they were known as a very sacred plant by the Druids. Where other winter flowers and plants wilted in the winter, the green and red colors of holly remained vibrant, making it a very special plant indeed. In fact, way back in the day, holly was seen as a symbol of fertility and a solution to protect places from witches in pagan times. There are over 400 different species of holly worldwide with different sizes and appearances. Holly plants are usually either female or male, and both are needed for the female plants to produce the bright red berries. Male holly plants produce the pollen required for fertilization. Holly wood is known for its fine texture and pale color, making it highly prized for crafting fine woodwork. It is often used for making decorative inlays in furniture, musical instruments, and even chess pieces. Holly has a meaning of happiness, optimism, good fortune, and peace, which we think is perfect for a month filled with festive joy and New Year approaching. Because of their dark green spike leaves and bright red berries, they also hold a lot of symbolism and Christianity. It's believed that the berries were once white and stained red from Christ's blood, while the leaves represented the crown of thorns. The second flower of December is the narcissus. The narcissus has a great origin story behind it too that you may already be familiar with. The pretty flower got its same name from Narcissus, a young attractive hunter who was completely obsessed with his look and all things beautiful. One day he found himself looking at his own reflection in a pond and got so absorbed by himself that he ended up falling and drowning. Because of this, the Greeks named the beautiful flowers after him, and it became a symbol for vanity too. There are over 50 species and many more cultivated varieties of narcissus, each with unique characteristics and colors. The most well-known is the daffodil, which is a type of narcissus. Narcissus is one of the earliest spring bloomers. Depending on their variety and location, they can start flowering as early as late winter, often heralding the arrival of spring. With a meaning of hope, wealth, and good fortune for the new year, narcissus is a super popular flower in China and is used to represent the Chinese New Year, as it's one of the first flowers to bloom in the spring. This is all what I have to say about the two flowers. I hope you like the storytelling, and I'm very happy that I finalized the series of the flower of the month. I had a very great time drawing each month the flowers and learn what are the symbolism, the meanings, the color meanings as well. And yes, I really had a great time. And this is also part of my Patreon, because I was using this illustration also for the stickers and prints as rewards. I have already finished the stickers and prints for my Patreon snail mail club that you can receive during January. You have still time to join it until the end of January. You can decide if you want to have the sticker, the print, both together as a bundle. And in this year, I also adding each month a letter where I share with you my thoughts and experience about my life, about art, sharing some inspiration, and I really want to connect with you more, so I was thinking that to add a letter will be the perfect way to make this happen. I'm also adding a bingo card this time, because as the new year has already begun, we are looking forward to make some changes, to make some goals in the new year. And this is why I was adding the bingo card. I want to fill it out with some goals and inspiration for me, and I can't wait to review our bingo cards together in the end of 2026. And one thing that is also new to this snail mail is the loyalty card that you will receive. Each new member will get a loyalty card, and there you can collect flower stickers, and if you are collecting 6 flowers in a row, you will get a special gift as well sent to you. And I hope you will like the new snail mail club and that you will enjoy your goodies. And yes, this is all for today's video. I hope you like it, and if this is the case, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment if you want to. I always love to read your comments. And until the next video, stay creative, and then I will see you in the new one. Bye bye.